just finding the sound of your breath. And then if you use the sound of your breath as reference, see if you can level out the length. So find some balance, or more or less making the inhales and exhales the same length. And in some cases that requires making your inhales a little longer. In other cases, you might find that you just need to find a little bit more control over your exhale. So rather than just letting that exhale burst out, you're kind of letting it out slowly. So there's some retaining of that exhale that happens. And to do that, you might notice or you might feel that you're using abdominal muscles here. So in that control of your exhale, you're controlling that contraction of those deeper abdominal muscles, drawing towards your spine. And notice that that requires some effort, some action. So try not to let that effort to take over. So keep some softness, keep some ease. Let's take about 5 more breaths. And then let's just find some movement in the neck. So let's breathe in. And then on the exhale, let's lower the chin to the chest, finding some space in the back of the neck. See if you lower the chin to such a place that you can feel the stretch go down between the shoulder blades. Take another breath. And then lower your right ear towards that right shoulder. And see if you can drop your left shoulder down. Breath in. And now return that chin to your chest. Breath in here. And now let's draw that left ear to the left shoulder. Gaze now is forward. Right shoulder drops a little further. Breath in. And now bring that chin back to your chest. And now let's move from side to side. So these half circles a few times using your own breath. And just feeling that neck, all those parts in this movement. Going from one shoulder to the other. It's gently, no rush. And notice that tucking of the chin as you come through center. And then let's meet back with the chin to the chest. And then gently lift your gaze, looking straight forward. And now on your inhale, bring the shoulders up by your ears. And as you exhale, just lower your right shoulder down. Crown of the head stays lifted. Inhale, right shoulder lifts. And now left shoulder will lower. Exhale. And inhale and lift. And now again, right shoulder down. Exhale. And inhale, lift. And left shoulder lowers. Exhale. And now as you inhale, bring both shoulders up. See if you can keep them lifted with your exhale. So draw that belly towards the spine. And then inhale, maybe you can lift them even a little higher. And now on your exhale, release them all the way down. With your next inhale, bring those arms straight in front of you. So we're bringing them shoulder height, if that's comfortable. If not, bring them down a bit so they could go down kind of diagonal a bit. And then maybe a little broader than your shoulders. So outer shoulder, something like that. Palms are facing one another, thumbs are pointing up. Okay. Notice neutral spine, neutral upper back. But now with your next inhale, we're going to reach those fingers forward without changing the spine. So we're just sliding shoulder blades. Okay, so reach forward. Notice your shoulder blades moving away from one another. And then on your exhale, draw the shoulder blades towards one another as your fingers draw back. Okay, let's just isolate this movement. Inhale as you reach forward. The shoulder blades separate. And then exhale as you draw those shoulder blades towards each other and your arms are coming back in. Okay. Let's do that again. Reach, inhale. Exhale, draw the shoulder blades back. Try to keep your shoulders away from your ears one more time and reach. And then draw them back. Exhale. And now let's do one at a time. So now we're going to reach only with that right arm. Right shoulder blade slides forward. And then exhale, right shoulder blade draws back. And maybe it draws back even more than your left hand. And then do that again and reach, right shoulder blade slides, exhale and draw it back. And one more time and reach. And then draw that shoulder blade back. We're going to switch. Left now is going to reach. And then draw it back. 2 more times. Use your breath here. And one more and reach. And draw that left shoulder blade back. Exhale and then lower those hands back to your legs, to your knees. And we're going to roll those shoulders once again, but now really loosely. So bring them up, release them down, not too much effort. And again, up and down. And up by your ears and down the back. And now let's reverse that. So bring them up and now forward and up and forward and down. And one more time, up and forward. And now let's do that just one more time. Bring them up by your ears and now more into a neutral place. So in the most cases, we just need to open up the fronts of the shoulders. Let's turn the palms up. If you were sitting cross-legged, let's switch the cross of the legs, okay, just to find a little balance here. And now with your palms up, take a full breath in. And on your exhale, draw the chin towards the right shoulder. And now you're just looking to your right. And then on your exhale, let's lower the chin towards the shoulder. Breath in and breath out. And then once again, lift your gaze, looking to the right, and then bring your gaze back through center. And now take a breath in, center, and we'll go to the left. So now just turn your gaze over to the left. So your gaze is still lifted here. Breath in. And then on your exhale, chin and gaze turn down towards that left shoulder. Breath here. And then as you inhale, lift that gaze and bring it back through center. And pause here. Exhale, you could close your eyes. Breath in. And breath out. And then with your next inhale, let's reach those arms overhead if that's comfortable. And on your exhale, let's bring those hands in front of us and we're coming into a table pose. And just finding your alignment here, your hands under shoulders or maybe a little forward depending on how those wrists are feeling today. Your knees under hips, and remember it's hip width, so not too wide. And then let's find some cows and cats. So gently here, and let's use those feet too. So inhale, chest comes forward. We're tucking those toes. Exhale, we're rounding the spine, tops of the feet to the mat. And then again, inhale. And round, exhale. And as you go into those cows and cats, just notice that upper back. Notice any sensations, maybe from what we just did, maybe other sensations. As you're going through your cats and cows, it's not so much about how it looks, it's a lot about how it feels. What you might discover here as you move your body and breathe with that movement. And let's go through one more. And then we'll meet with a neutral spine and we'll reach the right leg out behind us. We'll plant the ball of the foot, we'll push the heel away, get a good stretch through the calf, through the back of your ankle, push the floor away with your hands here. Take a full breath in. And full breath out. And depending how you feel, take another breath in. And then on your exhale, you might just lift that left knee, but you can keep the top of the foot on the mat. Okay? Take another breath. Just feel that upper back and those arms pushing the mat away. Use the top of that left foot, press down. One more breath. And then on your exhale, let's lower that left knee. Let's lower that right knee down. Come back into table pose. Now shift your hips from side to side. Taking a breath in and a breath out. And one more time. And let's bring ourselves back through center. And now your left leg will rise on the inhale. And then let's plant the ball of the foot, exhale. And again, you're pushing that heel away. So you get a nice stretch through the back of that ankle, that calf, maybe even the back of your knee. And then engage through those arms, those shoulders. Take a breath in. And then on your exhale, see if you can lift that right knee off the mat. Top of the foot presses down, so put some weight into that right foot. Breath in. Breath out. And another breath. And we'll use the exhale to lower the knee and bring that left knee into table pose. Once again, shift your hips from side to side, but this time, once you go, your hips go to the right, let's turn the gaze to the left heel and let's pause here. Full breath in and breath out. And now come back through center and let's go to the other side and pause. So looking to your right heel. And inhale through center. And now on your exhale, let's tuck those toes and find downward facing dog, lifting those sit bones up and back. And once you're in downward facing dog, and remember there's options here. So if down dog's not feeling that great today, use a chair. Bring your hands onto a chair so you're not putting as much weight on those shoulders. Or use a wall, hands on the wall. Or substitute your down dogs for table poses. making it your practice. Let's take another breath. And then we'll use the next inhale to walk those feet to the hands. And we'll meet in a forward fold as we exhale. And a good place now to really relax those shoulders so you can grab opposite elbows. And if you've got a stable stance, that upper body can really soften so you can let go of that effort, that tension. Sometimes you might find that you can let go of your neck a little bit further, tucking the chin slightly towards the chest and allowing the top of the head to drop towards the mat. Take another breath. And then with your next inhale, we'll release those elbows. We'll find a bend in the knees and we'll slowly stack one vertebra over the other as we rise up to stand. And then once you arrive to stand, we're straightening those legs. We're bringing those shoulders over the hips and maybe giving those shoulders a roll as we turn the palms forward and we'll reach the top of the head towards the ceiling. So coming into your mountain pose and taking a moment here. So again, if you feel grounded and rooted through your feet, your eyes might gently close and you can really tune into the sensations of this pose. So again, not so much how it looks, but how it feels in your body today. Breath in and breath out. And then as you inhale, let's open those eyes, let's bend those knees, come into chair pose, and your arms could reach up by your ears. And on your exhale, bring hands to your heart. And just play here with your chair pose a bit. So wiggle or shift forward and back, bend and straighten your knees. You might go a little deeper and then just lift slightly. And there is a point in which the thighs are working a lot harder, and it's not necessarily the most low that you go with your sit bones, okay? It could be more, a bit more in between, like low and lifted. And then try to relax your shoulders. Take a breath in and a breath out. And then with your next inhale, let's straighten those legs. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, lower your right arm down, side stretch. Press down through your left foot. Inhale, come back through center. And then to your other side, exhale. Inhale, back through center. One more time each side. Exhale. And inhale, center. And other side, exhale. And now as you inhale, come back through center. And we're moving into warrior one. So right foot is going to step back, plant, and then bring hands to your heart. Take a moment, ground that back heel. You could lift and lower it and see how that feels, and then really plant it down. Back, right glute engaged, lower belly lifting, shoulders down. With your next inhale, we're going to open those arms out into a T. And here's where we're going to play with our eagle arms. So on your exhale, your right arm is going to cross under the left. And then you know how we usually hook elbows? So this time we are going to hook them, but we're not going to let them touch. Okay, so we're keeping them separate, and we're trying to reach the arms as far as we can in to the opposite side. You could here bend your elbows, but again, there's some space between those elbows, and you're just working to cross them even more. So notice how that means quite a bit of action in that upper back. So take breaks at any point if it becomes intense. And then try, if your forearms are lifted, send them away from you slightly. Breath in. Breath out. And another breath in. And breath out. And then on your inhale, open those arms out into a T. And as you exhale, lower them down by your side. So you're still in your warrior one stance, but see if you can shake out that effort from those arms and those shoulders. So sometimes just that taking an inhale, lifting those hands, and then on your exhale, dropping those hands. One more time. And then as you inhale, let's reach those arms towards the ceiling. And on your exhale, step forward, back foot plants next to the left and bring hands to your heart. Inhale, arms will lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, bend your knees, chair pose. Exhale, bring hands to your heart. And once again, pause here. And we're using chair pose to rest those shoulders. Okay, so there's action in the legs, but your shoulders now here can take a little break. Okay, so down and away from your ears. And palms could be together, but if you wish, you could bring hands to your thighs, or you could just lower those arms by your side. Just keep that action in your legs. You could do again what we did before, shift forward and back, or lift and lower the hips. Another breath in. Breath out. And then on your inhale, straighten legs, reach your arms up. And on your exhale, left arm down, side stretch, pressing through that right foot. Back through center, inhale. Other side, exhale. Center, inhale. One more time each side, exhale. And center, inhale. And other side, exhale. Now as you inhale back through center, and it's your warrior one, left foot now stepping back. So again, taking your time here. Feel that stance, that stable base. Maybe again you play with lifting that back heel, lowering. And then once you've got that back heel well planted, notice the stability. And then we'll play with those arms. So with your next inhale, arms open out into a T. And we're going to go into that eagle arms. Now it's your left elbow, your left arm under the right. And then again, you're crossing, but you're not using that hook. So that makes it more of a passive stretch when you kind of bring those arms together, because it's kind of that friction just keeps them together, so you don't have to do that effort. If you keep some space between them, you know, keeping that position of your arms is all about what your upper back is doing. Okay, so it's all that strength in the shoulders. Okay, so it's a lot more effort. So again, you might bend your elbows here and keep drawing the elbows to the opposite side. Okay. Breathing in. Breathing out. Remember about your exhales out of the nose, drawing that lower belly up and in. Shoulders stay away from your ears. Take another breath. And then with your next inhale, open those arms out into a T. And on your exhale, release them down by your side. And once again, just release that tension, that effort from those shoulders, from those arms. Breath in. And breath out. And now as you inhale, your arms will lift. And on your exhale, send your weight forward, step that back foot forward, and come into your mountain pose, hands rest at your heart. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back, downward facing dog. And 3 cycles of breath right here. Do whatever you need to do. Movement, stillness, a different position. Whatever you are, see if you can soften jaws, soften eyes. One more breath. And then as you're ready, we'll meet in that table pose once again. Knees under hips and hands more or less under shoulders. And let's spread those fingers and push the whole hand into the mat, especially thumb side, pinky side, base of the hand, base of your fingers, and ends of your fingers. And let's go for our cows and cats, keeping that grounding. Inhale as your chest comes forward, your toes tuck, you get that stretch through the soles of the feet. Exhale, untuck your toes, round the spine, and get that stretch through the tops of your feet. And then again, inhale, exhale, and inhale, and round, exhale. And then come into a neutral spine, and with your next inhale, reach your right leg out behind you. This time, bend that knee and let's find some mobility in the hips. So we're going to find some circles with that right hip. So that knee is guiding those circles, but the circles are coming from the rotation of the hip in the hip joint. And then let's switch direction. And now with your next inhale, so send that leg out behind you. And as you exhale, cross that foot over and plant it to the left. Press the ball of the foot away, take a full breath in. Exhale, look towards that right heel. Breath in here. And breath out. And then as you inhale, bring yourself back through center, right leg rises. And now on your exhale, we're going to bring that right leg over to the right side and we're going to plant it. Okay? And it doesn't have to be in line with the left knee, but if it is, then that's good. But if it's a little further back, that's fine too. Toes are pointing forward, just like your fingers. And now we're just going to shift forward and back on those hips. So we're leaning forward on the inhale, so bringing that left hip like forward of the knee. And then on your exhale, sending that left hip towards your heels. Okay, so just forward and back like that. Explore a bit those hips here. And again, forward. You could use your inhale to come forward. Exhale to drop back. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. And now with your next inhale, come to a neutral place. And now see if you can lift onto that knee and that foot. So lift your spine. Okay. Stay grounded through that right foot. Okay. And with your next inhale, reach your arms up overhead. As you exhale, bring your right hand to that right leg and then reach over with your left. And now inhale, come back through center. And now on your exhale, we're going to go over to the left. So see if you can plant your left hand and then reach over with the right. There you go. And let's do that again. Come up on your inhale. Exhale, right hand to that right leg, reach over. Up on your inhale. Exhale, going towards your left. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And now let's pause here. Okay, so we're going to the left. Left hand is planted. And we're going to bend that right elbow. And now with this right elbow, your hand could be kind of passive, or you could bring it behind your head. On your inhale, we're going to lift the gaze and look up. So lift that elbow any amount. And then on your exhale, we're going to draw that elbow down, and we're going to look towards that left hand. Okay? So 2 more like that. Inhale as you open that right elbow towards the ceiling. Exhale as you draw that right elbow towards the floor, towards that left hand. 1 more. Inhale to open. And exhale as you round. And now as you inhale, we'll open, we'll reach that right arm up, and then we'll pull ourselves all the way up. Lower those arms down. Take a moment, breath in here. And breath out. And now on your inhale, you could reach your arms up. And as you exhale, lower them in front of you. We're coming back to our table pose. So you could find a little action here in your right hip. Inhale, lift that right leg. Exhale, send it all the way out behind you. And then lower that knee back to the mat. You're back in table pose. And now shift your hips from side to side. And imagine as if you were walking on your knees. So as your hips go to the right, lift your left knee. And then plant your left knee, hips go to the left, and lift your right knee. So a bit like that from side to side. And another breath. And then we'll meet back at center. And we're going to try and do the same sequence on the left side, if I remember. So let's see, let's take it step by step. So as you're ready, that left leg will rise. And then we'll bend that knee, and we'll find first some circles with that left hip. And then switch direction. Hey, this is your exploration of this left hip. Noticing how different it is to the right, more obviously or more subtly. And then with the next inhale, let's send that leg all the way back behind us, and then let's cross that foot over to the right. So we'll plant the ball of the foot and we'll push the heel away. Let's take a full breath in, and then now turn your gaze towards that left heel. So now you get to stretch through the left side of the body. Breath in and breath out. And now inhale as you bring yourselves through center, lift that left leg. And now on your exhale, we're going to bring that leg over to the left side. Okay. So once again, maybe the arch of that left foot aligns with your right knee, more or less. Okay, or it might be a little further back, depending on how those hips are feeling today. And we're just going to shift the weight forward and back, so moving those hips forward towards the hands, and then back towards that right foot. And just checking out how this feels today on this side. And again, you could use your inhales to come forward, your exhales to move back. And sometimes here you might even add a bit of a cow and a cat for the spine. So it's up to you if you want to keep more of a neutral spine, or on your inhale as you come forward, you might go into a bit of a back bend. And then as you exhale and you go back, you might find a bit of a rounding through that back body. One more time. And then with your next inhale, bring yourself through center, and we're going to rise that torso. Okay? So sometimes you need a little readjusting with those knees and that foot to get you stable here. And when we're going from side to side, one important thing that I find that helps me is to really ground through that left foot. Okay, so stay connected to the floor through that leg. So when you're ready, your arms will lift on the inhale. And then as you exhale, that left hand goes towards that left leg, and you are reaching over with the right. And now inhale through center. And now we're reaching over to the right. Right hand plants, and that left hand can reach. You get nice stretch through the left side. And then 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. And now as we exhale, we'll plant that right hand and we're reaching over with the left. We're going to stay here for a moment, bending that left elbow. And again, we're using the elbow, so we're guiding the movement with the elbow. So your hand could be just relaxed, or if it helps, you could bring it behind your head, but just don't add tension or pressure to the neck or the head. Okay? And then as you inhale, let's open up that elbow, looking up towards the ceiling. And then on the exhale, we're drawing that elbow towards that right hand. So we're looking down. And then again, open up, inhale, exhale, and inhale, and exhale. And now as we inhale, we're going to open, reach that arm up, and then imagine being pulled through those fingers, rising all the way up. You could reach both arms up. And then on your exhale, let's lower those hands in front of us. Coming into, again, our modified table pose here. Left leg is out. We're going to engage that left outer hip and lift that left foot. Inhale. And then on your exhale, send it back. Toes point down. And then we'll lower that knee and come back into your table pose. And once again, find just gentle movement from side to side. Definitely, if it feels good to do cows and cats, feel free to go there. Take about 5 breaths. And then as you are ready, we'll move into a child's pose. So we'll lower those sit bones towards the heels. And it's up to you, knees wide, so a bit more space for the spine to lengthen forward. Or knees together, and that might mean more of a rounded spine. So check those 2 options and see which one you want to stay in for about 5 to 8 breaths. And 1 more breath in wherever you are. And breath out. And then we'll slowly lift that spine. And we'll make our way into a seat. So again, find your seat, just like we did at the beginning. So whether it's cross-legged or any other variation. We'll just spend a few moments here, so feel free again to find that wedge, that pillow, just to prop your hips up a bit. Okay. So hands resting on the thighs, and then finding some rotations with the torso. So we're going to bring that torso forward first, and then we're going to bring it to the left, And then all the way back behind us and to the right. And then find again this circle. And then here you can make it just like this, like it is, or you could bring your arms out, and that just adds a little bit more, kind of a little bit more effort to it. You have to be a bit more, engage a bit more as you make this movement if your arms are out. And then let's switch direction if you haven't already. And make the circles as expansive as you wish, as feels right here. It gives you some nice stretch to the side waist. And let's take one more breath. And then we'll bring ourselves back through center. Once again, resting those hands on your thighs. Turn your palms up and just find some softness in your fingers. Lengthen your spine, take a full breath in. And then as you exhale, chin to chest. Breath in here. Right ear to your right shoulder. Breath here. And now chin turns towards that right shoulder. Breath in. And chin back to chest. Breath in. And going for the left ear to left shoulder. And as you do this, now your gaze is forward. Breath in. And now chin and gaze turns to the left shoulder. Another breath. And chin back to chest on your exhale. And now as you inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. And on your exhale, interlace your fingers and bring them to the back of your head, base of your skull. Open up those elbows on your inhale and see if you can lean your head into those hands and pause here. Take another breath. See if you can use your exhales to draw those shoulder blades down towards the ribs. One more breath. And then as you inhale, reach your arms all the way up. And on your exhale, lower those hands in front of you. And now just walk your fingers forward any amount. Let the head go. Breathe into that back body. And then as you inhale, walk your fingers back towards you, lifting that spine. And we're going to make our way onto our backs. So plant your feet. Reach your arms out in front of you. Ground those toes. Take a breath in. Exhale, come halfway down. Give your shoulders a roll here. Inhale as you lift them. Exhale as they lower and you turn your palms up. Take another breath in, open up your chest, and then on your exhale, lower all the way down onto your mat. And now once you're on your mat, let's bring those knees in. One hand on each knee and separate circles with those knees. And as you do those circles, bring awareness to that back body. Especially the back of your neck. And if your chin is lifted and the back of the neck is contracted, draw that chin slightly towards the chest, push it back, so push it towards the mat, and you might find the neck neutralize and get closer to the ground. And if you're doing circles, let's switch direction. And then from here, see if you can bring your hands to your ankles or to your shins. So somewhere below your knees. Okay. And then we're just going to bring the soles of the feet together and the knees wide. And we're going to drop the feet towards the mat. Okay, so as we drop the feet towards the mat, the hands stay on the legs, and you might feel that stretch through the side of your neck as the weight of your legs pulls those hands, pulls those arms, pulls those shoulders. And of course, the weight of your head keeps your head on the mat. So all that space between the head and your hands gets a nice stretch. Breath here. And then from here, you can release those legs, so those hands, and just allow those feet to drop all the way to the mat. Knees are wide, soles of the feet together. You could bring hands on your belly. And let's bring awareness to that movement, that breath. Belly expanding, lifting into the hands. And then belly lowering away from the hands. So about 5 breaths right here. And again, always options. So if it's too intense to have those knees wide, you could use your hands to prop those knees up slightly, or blocks under those thighs. Sometimes that really helps. Or just take a breath and then come out of it. Bring those knees up. For some of us, one breath in this pose doesn't stretch enough. For some of us, one breath is plenty of stretch. And neither one is better or worse or good or bad. It's perfectly fine either way. It's still the practice. And another breath in. And breath out. And then as you inhale, if your knees are still wide, let's bring them up. Let's bring those feet a little wider, and now let's let those knees rest against one another. And you might need to readjust your pelvis here. Okay, so in my case, I had quite a bit of a arch in my lower back. And so now I'm just neutralizing that by lifting my pelvis and then kind of tucking my tailbone a bit. So I'm lengthening that lower back, and then I can plant it onto the mat. And now just pausing once again. Coming back to that breath, the sensations of the breath in this body, in this position on the mat. And you might even slow down your breath. You might even be able to distinguish 2 or 3 parts with each inhale and each exhale. So if you're distinguishing those parts, you might inhale and feel first the belly rise, and then the ribs, and then the chest. And then as you exhale, you might feel that chest lower, and then the ribs, and then the belly. And you might just tune into that 3-part breath for a couple more cycles. And then eventually letting go of any control over that breath. So trusting that breath happens even if we're not thinking about it. So allow it to just do its thing. And then allow as much of your body as possible to soften towards your mat. As best you can, letting go of effort. And just inviting or staying open to ease. Allowing the earth to hold you. Just as you trust your breath to happen, trusting that the earth will hold you, support you. And now tuning back into that breath. And making it deeper, making it a bit longer. And then finding some gentle movement in your fingers and your toes. In your ankles and your wrists. Moving that chin from one shoulder to the other, taking a swallow, moving those eyeballs. As you're ready, maybe take a good stretch through those arms and then make your way onto one side. As you arrive there, give yourself this moment, a pause, an acknowledgement of the transition, a breath in, and a breath out, maybe with a sigh. And then we'll make our way up and we'll all meet in a comfortable seat, unmuting ourselves if you wish, and just meeting with hands at heart to here acknowledge the practice, acknowledge ourselves for practicing, to acknowledge those who practiced with us, to acknowledge all those who made it possible. And we'll end with a word that means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.